What's up out there in the guitar metaverse? I don't know what that means, but I felt like saying it. We're doing a live stream with no topic today. I've got my friend here and manager, Matt, who's going to be checking out all your comments. So not distracted by the Nirvana requests.
Yep.
Nirvana and Metallica requests. Pretty much tends to be what happens.
Lil Zeppelin today.
Lil Zeppelin. Well, I can do that. So, Matt, pay attention to the comments.
Yep.
And anyone that says something stupid, you know what to do.
Yep.
Block them. I had a really fun time last night. We'll just do some storytelling and I'll answer your questions. So please keep some interest, not just song requests, but just chime in with anything that you want to do a Q&A about. That's kind of like the mood I'm in today. It's just some chat, chit chat. I had a real busy day yesterday. I shot one of my podcast interviews with this awesome band from Alabama called The Stews, and it went really well. That's not, it'll be coming out in a month or two, but they invited me to jam with them at their concert last night. So that was at the Basement East here in Nashville, is what it's called, and they were kind enough to invite me up and get to jam with them, and that was super fun. And they were chanting my name in the audience, which was wild. Made me feel kind of funny. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm not making it up.
They'll see.
What?
They'll see.
Yeah, they'll see. Yeah, there'll be some video forthcoming. And then also, I've got an old, someone I've been friends with for 30 years here, named Bob Bain from Memphis, who's just visiting in town right now. And shout out to Bob Bain,
Hello.
If your uncle's watching or something, we just had a nice lunch and then came here for the live stream. But Bob was reminding me how we first met 30 years ago, and I think it's a fun story. It's part of my origin story. Me and a childhood friend that I grew up with backpacked through Europe. Was it 1995?
Yep.
1995. My friend Jeff and I backpack through Europe, like the whole college backpacking Europe thing that I think people still do. It's still a thing. Still a thing. But it was after my sophomore year of college and that summer break, the whole summer we backpacked all around Europe. And I'd only been playing guitar for about 2 years at that point, but I was really obsessed with guitar and trying to get better. And to have at that phase in my life, to have 3 months without a guitar, even though backpacking through Europe was an epic thing to do and experience, I had to have a guitar with me. I was just too obsessed with it at the time. So I remember going into a music shop at the time and buying one of those like 3/4 size nylon string, cheap, used acoustic guitars that I knew I wouldn't care if it got stolen or broke. You know, I wouldn't like be losing out on a lot of money if something happened to it. So I bought this 3/4 size acoustic nylon string guitar for $75. I still remember, which was a lot of money for me at the time, but not enough to like have this be a prized possession. To the point I still remember. I wish I still had that guitar. I have no recollection of what happened to it, but I do remember scratching my name into it. You know, with a knife or a fork or something. I scratched my name into it, just so when we were at youth hostels or we were out and about and I was leaving it around, I could kind of like just put my mark on it that it was my guitar, you know, make it very obvious. And it really ended up being a great thing to have. I had to like tie it onto the backpack, so there was no case or anything like that. Just tied it on there, and it wasn't full size. And I'm really glad I had it. And it's also how I met my friend here, Bob, because he's a music fan and I was a music fan, and we were the same age. And I was in this youth hostel in Munich, Germany, playing a Blues Traveler song. I remember I was playing all kinds of songs, but I just remember at that moment I was playing in the room, playing a Blues Traveler song, and I was just super into guitar and kind of still in that, you know, honeymoon phase of learning guitar. And I had taken a bunch of lessons with Chris Sherlin, who's been on my channel, and so I had time to practice. I also had a band back in college, so I was like maybe looking for inspiration to write music and all that. And so I was playing a song, and my friend that's out here in the wings heard the music and walked in, was like, hey, you know, just kind of like, you sound like my kind of people. And so he walked in and we just started talking about the bands that we like in common. And this is at the like beginning of, you know, it was 95, so it was the beginning of like Fish, Blues Traveler, like this new crop of jamming bands. The word jam band didn't exist yet, or I mean, it wasn't used yet to describe these kinds of bands. But then there was, you know, Fish, Widespread Panic, and then of course the forefathers of that, the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead, and you know, other classic rock. So we had that all in common, and we ended up, it was a really cool trip for so many reasons, but Bob and I ended up becoming really good friends and stayed in touch ever since, and ended up hitting it off on that. And then he was with his high school friend, I was with my high school friend, so we all kind of like bonded over having things in common and just being young and dumb. And so we ended up deciding to like meet up again at some other places. We were kind of on doing the same travel route, so we ended up, you know, traveling together and really, you know, hitting it off. And now we are still friends. And so I'm in Nashville here, and Bob was from Memphis, so he comes out here sometimes for various reasons. And so we just had lunch, and he got to remind me of, you know, some aspects of, you know, his memory that I could combine with my memory from that. But that was really a kind of transformative time for me. Like, but what Bob reminded me was how I was talking back then, that like I was going to do something with the guitar, you know, for a living. Like, it didn't seem like a realistic thing, but I was going to just go for it, and whatever that meant, I was going to try and do guitar for a living. And so that was 30 years ago, and I guess that came true. But what that reminds me of is even back then, I think I was just trying to talk things into reality, like manifesting things by speaking it into reality. And I didn't even realize that's what I was doing at the time. But now, later in my life, in my late 40s here, I realize I've really done that a lot. And I guess it's helped me quite a bit. So, what do we got there, Matt?
Big shout out to Josh Norco, of course. He just dropped $100 for lunch.
Really?
Yep, said lunch is on him.
Josh Norco, I think you've paid me back already for the Les Paul I gave you. I just swallowed my coffee, or I inhaled my coffee there. Wrong pipe. Josh Norco, thank you for the super chat. And by the way, there is a thing called super chat where you can, give me your money. And Josh Norco, you're always very generous, so thank you so much.
Rocco wants to join too. Rocco wants to go to lunch with us.
Oh, Rocco, you can come to lunch with us. Rocco's a really cool kid that likes Nirvana a lot. I know that.
A lot of questions about what size gauge strings
cool.
you prefer.
From the very beginning of playing guitar, I had like good guitar teachers and mentors, and they pretty much always told me to use 10 gauge on the high E string, 10 to 46, which is really just kind of like the standard thing. I've experimented with the super heavy gauge like Stevie Ray Vaughan used, and then I've used really light gauge like Billy Gibbons, I think uses like 7s on his high E string. So I've tried them all, and I feel like I probably, mostly just because I put probably the most hours into 10 gauge strings, so that just feels the most natural to me, I would say. Someone said Led Zeppelin. Matt?
Greg Levinson earlier with the super chat before.
Greg Levinson
Yeah.
with the super chat. Thank you again. You and Josh Norco. You helped pay for lunch. Bob got the French dip, and I got the turkey avocado. A lot of times we would, when Brian, my friend Brian, would help me with the live streams, it would always be like, go get tacos, because we were in San Diego. But we usually don't, no good taco places nearby this studio. Really good sandwich place nearby though. But so Greg Levinson, thank you for the super chat. And Josh Norco, thank you for the super chat. If anyone doesn't remember, I've brought up, well, Josh Norco makes every live stream that he can, comments on all my videos, Greg Levinson as well. I really appreciate you guys. Greg Levinson, I hope to hang out with you in person, face to face sometime. Josh Norco, I surprised with a trip to Sweetwater because he's such a loyal viewer and follower and student and everything. So if people don't remember, you can actually find a video with him that's on Marty Music where I surprised him at Sweetwater. You know, we said we were just giving him a tour of Sweetwater and hanging out, but then at the end, and Bob, I don't think you saw this or know about it, but we took him into a room with all the like sponsored companies that I work with, and we had a whole room of gear for him. Boss Katana amp, an American Gibson Les Paul, D'Addario gear like straps, picks, basically a lifetime supply of strings. You know, so we gave him the super bundle as a surprise and an appreciation for his great support. So if you want a chance to get a super bundle and great support and a surprise trip, just be more like Josh Norco if you want. But it's always joke, Josh Norco does these super chats every time to I think he's trying to pay me back for all the gear and Les Paul and stuff. And I think you're good, buddy. I really appreciate it though. How are we doing over there, Matt? Anything else?
Just so many requests, bro.
Give me a few.
Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets.
Of course.
Of course. I didn't know this, but I saw that Metallica has a masterclass on masterclass.com. And there's different sections. So there's like a couple, I think they do a Master of Puppets breakdown, and maybe they talk about the song One also. And then the various members have their own little sections on there. I just noticed that because I was studying the masterclass stuff, because I have some new stuff I'm working on, and more in the masterclass style, and I'm not actually the teacher or on camera for that, but I'm putting these new concepts together, and Matt here is helping me, and I'm getting some help from people to produce masterclass style. We're calling it master courses. Didn't want to, step on any toes, you know what I'm saying? But we're, in that vein. So not like super guitar lesson-y per se, but with guitar bass. But so I'm excited to say that this week we spent 2 full days with Marcus King, who's an amazing artist, guitar player, singer, songwriter, and a really sweet guy. We spent 2 full days shooting master course style content with him, and I think it went really, really well. So if you guys would ever want to learn from Marcus King, learn what makes him tick, have him break down 4 of his most popular songs, including teaching the songs, and then also including sections on blues licks and sections on more like Allman Brothers kind of style licks, a section on slide guitar. He's an amazing slide guitar player, and also just like his philosophy on writing songs, working with Dan Auerbach, working with Rick Rubin, technique lessons on vibrato, string bending, songwriting. I mean, I can pretend that he can teach you how to sing like him, but that's just not how that works. But also he does full performances in the master course that we shot as well. So that's not going to be on martymusic.com. It's going to be on its own thing. And so I'm just kind of teasing it right now because it's going to be a little while before it actually launches. But the very first master course is with Marcus King, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Don't you think, Matt?
It was amazing.
It was an amazing experience. I got a lot from it personally, but now I'm excited for other people to get a lot from it. And I also feel like there was a nice kind of niche or opening for me and like what my skill. I have a very specific set of skills. That's my bad Liam Neeson from one of those kidnap movies that he's done like 40 of them now. This time they kidnapped my daughter. This time they kidnapped my dog. This movie they kidnapped my accountant. This one they kidnapped my dog groomer. This time they kidnapped my sister's cousin's roommate's landlord. And I'm going to use my special set of skills. Yeah, I don't know. Give me a comment there, Matt. I don't care what it is.
Oh, perfect time. Chris Compton with the super chat just says thanks.
Chris Compton?
Yeah, Chris Compton.
Chris Compton with the super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. So who else would you like to see a master
That's a good question.
class from? I am in the talking, pitching stages with a bunch of artists that I think would be great for it. Oh yeah, so, I'm sitting in bed sometimes, my brain is has a lot of thoughts going on and I'm not falling asleep and I'm thinking about all the various things going on in my life and stuff. But one of those things that I can channel in a positive way, I was able, just how my friend Bob reminded me that I kind of speak things into existence and then try and make them come true. And I certainly wanted a career with my guitar, and it didn't seem like that was going to happen. I was kind of failing big time at that up until really about 16 years ago, which that is a long time now. But I was ready to give up doing music for a job because I needed more stability in my life. But that's right when the YouTube thing kind of happened for me, and so now I've been on this journey. But within those 16 years, I've shot out, multiple thousands of guitar lesson videos that I've made and produced with myself teaching, and obviously social media stuff, video production. I've learned so much about how to teach, education. There's all these different things that I've learned in 16 years, very specific set of skills that I've been using that are kind of like peripheral to the music industry. I mean, I guess you could say I'm in the music industry, but not really, I'm kind of like on the periphery with what I do. And if you've seen, I've shot a handful of videos with Marcus King and other like Susan Tedeschi and Kingfish, Eric Gales, Eric Krasno, Molly Miller was in here recently, an amazing jazz guitarist and educator. I'm leaving so many out, but just, I've worked with all these artists, and none of them really focus on what makes them tick, like guitar player, some of the bigger guitar players have done like guitar lesson courses, but that actual more like masterclass style education, like from that website Masterclass, like Steve Martin teaching comedy writing, or so, some genius chess player teaching chess theory and kind of giving you more the overall broad concepts of what makes them who they are. I kind of realized there was a bit of a niche out there, or an opening out there for a lot of music artists who don't ever even think about it as being an aspect of their career. So like I said, laying in bed late at night with intrusive thoughts, and some positive, some not so positive, and trying to get through it. I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of very specific things I've done over these 16 years that if you add them all up, what else could I do with those things I've learned? And so that's kind of where the idea, by shooting normal YouTube with Marcus King, going, man, he should have something like that, or Derek Trucks should have something like that. And my brain started to go on and on about it, and I kept thinking about it, and then just like Bob reminded me 30 years ago, talking about what I wanted to do in a career, I started kind of speaking these things out into the air. And this was many, many months ago. And Marcus was definitely the first one I thought would be perfect. And, you know, I had to do a little selling on it, you know, because someone like Marcus, for instance, he doesn't consider himself a guitar teacher, but that's where I came in, and basically I'm saying, this isn't for you to be a guitar teacher. This is for you to like show us what makes you Marcus King. And if you got to sit with Marcus King for 3 hours and ask him all the questions you want to ask him and other artists, that's what I did for the people that are now going to check it out. So if you want to learn more about that Marcus King masterclass, you can sign my newsletter at martymusic.com just to be in the loop and be notified for when that stuff starts to come out. But like I said, that's not going to be on martymusic.com. It's going to be a new thing, and it's going to be Marcus's specific masterclass. So when you go to a Marcus King concert, there'll be a poster there with a scan, you know, a QR code, and you can scan it and buy it at a show. And I'm going to start doing that for a lot of artists out there. So, and yeah, of course, I'd love to do Slash and John Mayer and people like that. But when you get to that level, I don't think they would want to do it. I mean, obviously, I would love to have them. But let me know, again, in the comments who you'd like to see that from. Like, for instance, I'd love, I worked with Kingfish. He'd be great. Gary Clark Jr. would be awesome. Obviously, I would love Derek Trucks, Billy Strings. These are people I really want to work with, and I think if the Marcus course goes well, then that's a step in the right direction towards reaching out to some of these other artists. What say you, Matt?
Yeah, people were saying Kingfish.
Kingfish, yeah. So I definitely want to.
We're working on that one.
We're working on talking to him about this. Derek Trucks would be amazing. Billy Strings would be amazing. I feel like
Gas.
Kyle Gass.
Yeah.
He is on my list. I don't know if he's been in a timeout. KG was put in a timeout. I won't say canceled, but KG's in a timeout. But he also does have free time now, doesn't he? You know, I'm so sad about Tenacious D canceling their tour and stuff, and people make mistakes, and you know they own up to the mistakes, and should be given, should be forgiven and given second chances. So that's what I'll say about that. And I love Kyle, and I reached out to him and told him as much. So I care about the guy, and I hope that just kind of works itself out. And I love Jack Black too.
Couple of Tim Pierce's requests.
Tim Pierce, yeah. So Tim Pierce was brought up to me, and I'm absolutely all for it. I will say Tim Pierce has his own website. I can't remember what his site's called. Tim Pierce. My guitar teacher Chris Sherlin is the Curious Guitarist, but Tim Pierce is like the Session Master or something like that. But I would do it. I mean, it's just Tim Pierce has his own site of all kinds of great education where he walks through.
Couple good ones. Jared James Nichols, couple requests for him.
Okay, so what's fun is Jared James Nichols is actually confirmed. So I'm like, it's okay. Like, this is just a live stream. Not everyone's paying attention to this live stream. So it's fine to like tease it, but also just say, yes, he is confirmed. Jared James Nichols is confirmed. I'm pretty sure he'll be the second one to be released. So we'll have Marcus King will be the flagship launch. Then Jared James Nichols, I think, should be second. Had some really good talks with Molly Tuttle and her team about possibly doing this. And then also the other Molly Miller, we had a good session here and she's an educator, a true educator. You know, she has a PhD in music and has some of her own courses already, but she's a really, you know, serious player and educator. So she's interested, and she's a real expert on the caged system. So like that's a thing that could happen, and that's great. Like that's two females. You know, the diversity I think is something that I'm excited about, having a diverse group of people on there. Anything else, Matt?
Everybody's just stoked. Yeah. Good vibes.
Cool, yeah, and when I have brought it up out in the open, like I said, I'm talking about it right now to manifest it, for instance. Like, I'm talking about it to help make it come into reality.
You guys all manifest it too.
You're helping me manifest it right now. And you can keep giving me feedback on stuff like that you'd like to see. But don't forget, at martymusic.com, I've got hundreds of hours of guitar education courses. Fender, Gibson, Peavey, Mesa Boogie, Marshall. That's the old Guitar Center ads. You know those, Bob?
Yeah.
Even Bob knows those on the radio. So obviously I've taught most of the topics that I've already I've been teaching a long time now. I taught for 10 years, at least. Yeah, no, I taught for 11 years. I taught private guitar lessons full time for 11 years before I ever made a YouTube video. And I was burned out on teaching, which is ironic, but once again, we're talking about manifesting things. And I don't think it's magic, it's just like what you focus on. There's a good analogy when you get a new car. I'll say a Ford pickup truck. Let's say you get a Ford F-150, right? You get a Ford F-150. Before you got that Ford F-150, you're just driving around in your other car, and you're not really paying attention to the other cars on the road. But then you get that Ford F-150, and all of a sudden you see all the other Ford F-150s on the road because you just got one. So in other words, it's the thing that's it's because your mind is thinking about your new truck, and now you see all the other trucks out there, but they were out there the whole time. They were already there, right? So I think that's where that speaking things into existence and manifesting things, I think it's related to that analogy, right? I'm saying out loud that I'm making a Marcus King masterclass. I was saying it before he showed up and before we shot it. I was talking about it, saying it out loud, thinking about it. So it's like the thing you focus, if you're focusing on something, it helps make it into a reality. And I was very much thinking about being a guitar teacher on the internet a good bunch of years before YouTube even existed. Because when MySpace first came out and Napster, those were the first P2P, peer-to-peer computers connecting and people sharing music or people promoting their band or their life on MySpace. I'm dating myself now, going way back. And then Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and now where we are. But way back when Napster and MySpace were starting to happen, in my mind I was already speaking out loud and trying to figure out, I knew someone was going to be able to teach millions of people guitar through that same method. YouTube didn't exist, so I didn't know what it was going to be, nor did I actually realistically believe it would be me, but I knew then and there that that would happen someday, but I didn't know what it would be, how it would be. So yeah, I guess I'm getting philosophical in this live stream, but also I played a late gig last night. I was raging with these, the oldest guy in the band that I played with last night was 22. So, I was keeping up with the youngsters last night, so.
Speaking of youngsters, just say hey TikTok, because some people think this isn't live, because.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
TikTok, tick, tick, tock, ticky, ticky, tock, we're live, tick, tock. 2021, and we're live. No. It's 3:45 Central Time right now, Saturday, July 27th. I just proved it. That's like a hostage video, where you like say proof of life, That's like that I'm, they hold the newspaper with the date on it up. Are we good at TikTok now?
I think we're good.
Are we all right? We're not going to go much longer, but the other reason the topics are this way is because I was up late last night, jamming, keeping up with a young 20-year-old band, a band of 20-year-olds. Tried to keep it in check, but was up very late, rocking away. Then my friend from Memphis came to visit. We just got lunch like right before we did the live stream, so didn't prepare anything. I don't have any Marty music courses for sale to promote or do a live stream on. So I just thought we'd just go free for all. Any other questions on YouTube there? I mean, just say something. I don't care what, or not, or just comments. Give me some comments. I don't care what they are.
Patrick wants hot for teacher.
Patrick wants hot for teacher?
That has been requested a lot.
My wife's a teacher.
What?
My wife's a teacher.
Yeah, and she's hot. That's like a Van Halen version of let's see, what is it? It's foggy.
That always reminds me of Superbad when the cops are driving the car.
Are they playing that song?
Yeah, then they wreck it into the telephone pole.
Superbad's a really funny movie. I told my daughter, who's 19, I was like, you should see Superbad. I think you'd like it, but we're not going to watch it together. That's one where I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch that one with my kid, but I think you'd like it. And then like a couple weeks later, she's like, oh, Dad, I watched Superbad. It was good. You're right. But yeah, it was good that we didn't watch it together. Well, like the whole beginning, all he's doing is drawing all the penises. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I mean, it's such a funny movie, and it just somehow reminds. I think everyone relates to their own high school experience, whether it's super accurate or not. Like you knew people like that, or like there's enough like archetypes in that movie where you relate to someone in it. Now I'm so old that I actually more relate to Dazed and Confused, but actually that movie takes place in the 70s. I wasn't a teenager in the 70s, but that's a classic. You like that one, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good one. That's got so many good songs in it too, and I like. I really relate to that they're like football players on their summer break, and they want them to sign the piece of paper that says they're gonna like not party,
Yeah.
But the like star quarterback's got all the power because he's the star quarterback. He like crumples it up and throws it. And it's like, I might play, but I'll play on my terms. And they're also all talking about getting Aerosmith tickets. It's really good, really really good. All right, any other topics before we wrap up? I'll do one more little jam, Ram Jam, Bama Lamb, Black Betty. Lamb of Damn, bang, bang, bang. Black Betty.
Play something off of Dazed and Confused.
Off the movie? Let's see it. Nice guy, and they're like paddling the kids. Oh my god.
Smell like bacon.
What was it? Oh yes, yeah. I mean, talk about things that would never happen today. You know, yeah, that's a good one. What other? Dude, there's definitely some Aerosmith in there.
I'm looking at it.
Low
Highway Star.
Rider.
Highway Star, Lowrider. Okay,
Low
that one I
Rider,
can
yeah.
do. Sorry, a little rusty. Oh, I blew it. Take a little trip. All right. Yeah, we'll see you guys later. See you next Saturday. Check it out.